Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Flock's Nest Sports Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Dallas Reppin 52, Ray Lewis of the Baltimore Ravens.
As always, on the other half, Brendan Rippin 54, Bobby Wagner of the Seattle Seahawks.
We got a great episode for you guys today. Obviously, we just wrapped up the NFL season with the Super Bowl, and we are in the midst of the 2026 Winter Olympics. So we are going to talk all kinds of sports, all kinds of news today, and just have a great time.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in, and we'll start with the NFL.
Yeah, we got a ton of breaking news. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks since we've last gone through it. So we'll just kind of get off and go. The Arizona Cardinals have hired Nathaniel Hackett to be their offensive coordinator. He's probably not going to call plays, but Mike LaFleur brings in a guy he knows pretty well. Nathaniel Hackett was his head coach I don't remember. But either way, they've worked together in the past. So the roles will flip this time, but we're back to Nathaniel Hackett and Mike LaFleur. Next, the Steelers have hired Brian Angelicio to be their next offensive coordinator. Spent some time with McCarthy. Don't expect him to call plays either. I expect McCarthy to do that, but we'll kind of see. Not sure what this means for the Steelers, if he'll end up calling plays or not. Next is the Jets are hiring Frank Reich to be their offensive coordinator. He will be calling plays, obviously with Aaron Glenn there as the head coach. To me, this is a very interesting one. Kind of see how it works out. Frank Reich has not had a stellar NFL career, so we'll kind of see what happens at this stop with the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, look at all of these hires. Good luck.
Yeah, at this point, this is where you're at with hiring coordinators and stuff.
You're at the bottom of the barrel.
So the next one does not get much better, as the Giants, having to pivot away from Todd Monken, as we'll discuss in a minute, have hired Matt Nagy to be their offensive coordinator. Experienced play caller, kind of see. I don't expect this to go well.
Yeah, I don't think this is what Harbaugh wanted or envisioned at all. I said I really thought, and I know there were reports out, they all really thought that it was going to be Monken. That went a different way, which, like Brendan said, we're going to talk about. But Nagy is not well known for developing young quarterbacks. So,
and then speaking of Todd Monken, he was hired to be the Browns' next head coach. So instead of going to be the offensive coordinator with Harbaugh in New York, he's going to Cleveland to be their next head coach. Honestly, Cleveland's such a shit show that this kind of doesn't surprise me in terms of who they would hire. I kind of think he's just going to be what I would call a bridge coach. Come in, try to stabilize the organization a little bit. Maybe develop a couple quarterbacks. See what you got. And then in like 2 or 3 years, you fire him once the kind of coaching market settles down and you can actually bring in.
I think this was very much a Shador-centered hire.
Yeah.
We talked about the Ravens had planned on and had wanted to draft Shador as a backup and as a prospect. And so I think it meant you knew that Monken kind of had a plan. And now, in kind of the midst of everything, this is someone that you've seen do great things with Lamar. and you hope that he still has that plan and has that attainable goal with Shador, because the offense is really what has struggled, and particularly at quarterback. And when we see the Stefanski and Shador kind of drama over the last year, I think this was kind of the answer to that. I do know Monken in his opening day press conference was asked about Shador and did not and said unequivocally that Shador is not currently the starting quarterback.
But then it's kind of funny. I think the Browns released a video of him and Shador meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and he pretty
And
much
he was like, "We
confirmed.
tried to draft you." Like, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
See what the
I don't love that Lamar's former offensive coordinator
is
is now
in.
the head coach of a team in his division. I'm not the biggest fan of that.
Yeah, I can't
Um,
imagine you would be.
so
But we'll keep going. The Titans have hired Gus Bradley to be their next defensive coordinator. Worked with Saleh on the 49er staff. Really solid defensive head coach. Um, Probably not a bad hire. Not sure if he'll call defensive plays or if Saleh will do that. Um, I know Saleh has talked in the past about that being kind of a mistake he made with the Jets because he didn't call plays with the Jets. So I could see him calling plays with Bradley as just his DC. So
mhm.
not really sure what the plan is there, but I like the hire regardless. I think Gus Bradley is a good defensive coach.
Yeah, I think it's a great hire.
Um,
I would expect him to call plays.
yeah,
Saleh.
I would expect Solid too. I think again, he's talked about how that was kind of a regret of his was that he
Yeah.
didn't in New York. Next is the Denver Broncos have promoted Davis Webb to be their offensive coordinator. This was something that we said the minute they fired their offensive coordinator.
Mhm.
Um, that I kind of thought they would just promote him to keep him in house because I know they really like him. He was getting head coaching interviews, so I think it's cool and all. I don't know if I necessarily like the idea.
Yeah, I mean, you're still not going to call plays.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily get it because you're gonna lose him regardless at some point.
Yeah.
So unsure what you're doing there, but I guess I'll figure it out. Um, Next, the Los Angeles Rams have done some things. They have extended both Sean McVay and Les Snead, their head coach and GM. Um, they're not required to release like any information on that, so we don't have any information on that. But they have been extended. I expect it to be a like they both got the same amount of years, and then you pay
Yeah.
them. But like, I expect
But
it to be
anywhere
like
from 3 to 5
I expect it to be like
is
they
pretty
both
standard.
got 4 years.
Yeah.
Not necessarily sure if that's true. That is just a kind of assumption that they're just going to be in tow, and you're just going to keep kind of keeping those two together, which makes a ton of sense. Those two have worked really well together, drafted really well,
It worked really well. Built really great rosters, really great teams.
so to keep that duo going, pretty smart from the Rams. Um, Next is the 49ers. To replace Robert Saleh, have hired Raheem Morris to be their defensive coordinator. Um, Most recently, the head coach for the Falcons. I actually think this is a pretty good hire. I don't think he's as good of a defensive coordinator as Robert Saleh, but he was a really good defense coordinator for the couple of years with Sean McVay. And then I do think
Yeah.
his defenses in Atlanta were kind of holding together. So I don't hate this as a hire for the 49ers. I think he's a good defensive mind, maybe just not quite a head coach yet.
Agreed.
Next, the Arizona Cardinals have hired their head coach. They're bringing in Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur, the brother of Matt LaFleur. This is kind of just where the Cardinals were at in the coaching cycle.
Yeah.
There was pretty much a couple names left, and they weren't going to get them, so they kind of had to pivot to LaFleur. We'll kind of see what happens. For his sake, I hope he does well. But good offensive mind coming from the McVay tree. Maybe he does all right. It's just, it's tough.
Arizona's a tough place to succeed, especially with massive questions at quarterback.
Yeah. Next.
And you're bottom of the barrel for coordinator hires at this point. So
yeah, we've already discussed their offensive coordinator. I don't think they've hired a defensive coordinator as of yet. Might be wrong, but I don't think they have.
That would be problem number one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Next is the Las Vegas Raiders have hired Clint Kubiak, the Seahawks offense coordinator, to be their next head coach. We all kind of knew this was happening.
Yeah.
When 10 coaching vacancies become open, they've got to be filled. I think Kubiak's a great coach. I hope he succeeds in LA or in Las Vegas. Unfortunate to lose him, but the price of success. So that was confirmed recently, but everyone kind of knew before the Super Bowl that he was getting the job. But he's there, is what it is. I think the Seahawks will be all right. We'll talk about potential offense coordinators hires like next week. Next, the Bills are hiring Broncos defense passing game coordinator Jim Leonhard. I think this is a fantastic hire. Do I think he's better than McDermott at calling plays? Probably not. But I do think he's a good young defensive mind. Has done a great job with the Broncos defense. So I do think this is a pretty solid hire for the Bills. The Steelers have named Patrick Graham as their defense coordinator. They do apparently have him and McCarthy do apparently have some connection back in Green Bay. So there's that.
I believe you.
So Patrick Graham most recently was, I want to say, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders. So he's leaving, going to the Steelers. Think he's been fine. We'll kind of see what that defense looks like here soon. Next is the Vikings have fired Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, their GM. This happened last week or a couple weeks ago, prior to the Senior Bowl, or during the Senior Bowl, which for those of you who don't know is like the college all-star game. It's one of the bigger draft events. So very interesting to fire your GM now.
I think two things happened.
Important draft events.
I think Sam Darnold made a Super Bowl. And I'm guessing the things you wanted from him at the Senior Bowl and opinions on what he was going to do, and they did not match. So.
Yeah. So, not sure what they're going to do. I don't normally recommend firing your GM a couple weeks before the biggest draft events of the year. Not a general.
You're 2 months from the draft, and
all the big events. You have the combine in 2 weeks or a week from now. When he was fired, the Senior Bowl was currently happening. So not the best.
Probably not the best idea.
But yeah. Next, the Bills continue their theme of hiring offensive or coordinators, and they're going once again to the Broncos to hire Pete Carmichael Jr. He was just an offense assistant under Sean Payton with the Broncos. I don't expect him to call plays, but if he's been with Sean Payton this long, he's probably pretty good at what he does. We'll kind of see. But yeah, I don't expect him to call plays. I expect that to be Joe Brady.
Yeah.
Next is the Falcons are hiring Ian Cunningham to be their next general manager. He's coming from the Bears. Truth be told, don't know a whole ton about the guy. I can tell you who is the assistant GM with the Bears most recently. The Bears have done a pretty good job in that front office, so I don't think this is a bad move for the Falcons. The Falcons identified him as one of their top candidates. They brought him in at a pretty good time in the season, so I expect this to work out pretty well for the Falcons. Hopefully. The Eagles have hired Sean Mannion to be their next offensive coordinator. Was the QB coach in Green Bay most recently. Has spent a couple seasons as a QB coach, but was really an NFL quarterback for quite a few years. Only recently got into coaching, so this is kind of an interesting hire for the Eagles. Scraping the bottom of the barrel there for
Good luck.
offense coordinator. Next, the Jets are hiring Brian Duker as defensive coordinator. 36 years old, was the Dolphins pass game coordinator. I expect him to not really do anything. I expect him to be the DC that just stands there and helps the team with other stuff. But he's not going to call plays. He's just kind of going to be there. Next is the Chargers are hiring Chris O'Leary as their defensive coordinator to replace Jesse Minter. Had some previous experience under Minter as the safeties coach, but we'll kind of see. Not really sure if he's ever called plays, and I do know that is going to be something he has to do in LA. So, don't know a ton about him. Hopefully, he turns out to be pretty good. Next is the NFL has announced some international games that they plan on doing this year. So they're confirmed international games. The first game to ever be played in Australia is going to happen. I do believe they've also confirmed the teams are going to be the 49ers and the Rams, and that is going to be played week 1. And some things I've seen is it's going to be played the Thursday of week 1, and then it sounds like the Seahawks opening day will be that Wednesday. So they're kind of shifting the schedule a little bit for opening week. But pretty cool game in Australia between the 49ers and the Rams. Should be kind of interesting.
I love that it's a division game. We talked about how I think primetime games should be division games, so I love that. I do feel a little bad for both teams, as that's going to be hot as shit. So
they are
good
making
luck.
it at least again on a Thursday, give you the appropriate amount of time to come back and do stuff. So that's kind of cool.
So that's great. It's exciting to see the game expanding, but it's going to be hot as shit.
Yeah, and then we've got a game in Rio again, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. We got a game in Munich, 3 games in London, obviously, a game in Madrid. And then for the first time, there will be a game in Paris, France. The New Orleans Saints will be the first, or the only confirmed team to be there. They will be the home team.
Tracks, you know what I mean? Makes sense.
So they'll be the home team. Should be pretty cool. I think those are the only ones that have been confirmed as of yet, but I think there's plans for more. it kind of seems like the NFL is going to come to a point where every team in the NFL at some point has an away or has a international game
International
during the
game.
season. So
Sounds good.
we're getting close based on initial, based on everything we've seen. So pretty cool. That catches us up to the week of the Super Bowl. Obviously, right before the Super Bowl, the NFL does their NFL honors, honoring some of the best players, coaches around the league. We'll just kind of go through who got each award, some controversies that happened during the whole thing. We'll just talk about that real quick. To start, the Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels won Assistant Coach of the Year. Did a great job there in New England with that offense. Not really that surprised. Pretty solid choice. So that's cool. Next is the Protector of the Year went to the Chicago Bears guard Joe Thuney. Also pretty obvious. I feel like there's a couple names in that list, but I think he was definitely really good. Definitely helped that offense a lot. Kind of improve that offensive line. The next is probably the most obvious award of the entire year, Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns. Set the sack record. There's really just no arguing with any of that.
That's all there is to it. That record's been held for 20 plus years. He broke it.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Next up is the rookie offensive rookie of the year. That is going to Carolina Panthers wide receiver Teteroa McMillan. So congrats to him. Had a pretty good season. Kind of surprised we didn't see Jackson Dart win this one or Tyler Shuck. Normally it is a quarterback kind of driven award, but congrats to McMillan. Thought he had a great season. Kind of glad we got a non-quarterback.
Yeah. And, Panthers had a slightly better season than both of those teams. Did make the playoffs. I think he was a big part of the growth we saw from Bryce Young this year. Yes. So I'm not surprised. Like you said, kind of glad it didn't go to a quarterback as they have their own award. Congrats to him.
Next is the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year. Is going to San Francisco running back Christian McCaffrey. Again, this one was not really surprising, at all.
No. And next year, folks, it'll be Joe Burrow.
Probably. I think there was something crazy, the last 5 seasons, has been either one of those two. So he beats out a couple pretty good names, but yeah, no real surprise. Had a great season. Next is the NFL Coach of the Year. The New England Patriot head coach Mike Vrabel gets the award. Had a great turnaround with the team. Obviously, only won 4 games last year. He comes in and they win 14, so it's an awesome turnaround. For anyone wondering, no, I am not mad at him winning over McDonald. He was a great coach. Based on how they vote on it, he was going to win. You could ask the question of should they vote on the team that has the best turnaround or on who's actually the best coach, but it doesn't really matter. He did a great job. He deserves to be Coach of the Year.
Yeah. It was a great season for him. Great season for the Patriots. Obviously, we're going to talk about how it came to an end, but it just was. To take a team from last in the division or near last to first.
The 4th overall pick to the 31st is pretty.
For the number 1 seed in the AFC competing in the Super Bowl. That's a great team. So he deserved it. He earned it.
Next is the Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to Browns linebacker Carson Swessinger. This one, I'm a little surprised at how lopsided it was.
Yep.
I think for me, it's tough to look at a team that went 5-12 and sit there and give 2 awards to that team.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
putting it out there. Obviously, you weren't going to take the deep Hoy from Myles Garrett, but this one was a little interesting to me. But congrats to him. Did have a good season. Racked up a lot of tackles. Had some key interceptions. Did play well. Just kind of interesting.
I just would pick someone that's more vital to winning than that. But that's just me.
Next up is the Offensive Player of the Year. That one is going to the Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. That is how you say his name. Maybe you could learn prior to announcing the award. Just
And not being a complete asshole about it.
Yeah. So this is the main controversy we're going to talk about. During the award ceremony, they had Barry Sanders, the very famous running back of the Detroit Lions, and Drewski, who is a comedic sketch guy. That's what he's known for. They had them announce the Offensive Player of the Year award. Drewski purposely mispronounced Smith-Njigba's name to kind of get laughs and make the moment about himself, and did it in the worst way possible. So,
yeah,
just completely disrespectful to Jackson, to the awards ceremony, to literally everybody there. So, there were some other ones during the NFL honors, but that one was really the main one that had people kind of upset. So, not great. Next,
not great and unnecessary. Hold on, unnecessary. It's disrespectful. This is supposed to be an important night. It's supposed to be it's supposed to honor players and where they've come from and what they've achieved, and to disrespect him, everybody there, and an entire race of people is unnecessary. And it's not what that night is about.
No. So, put respect on his name.
Yeah.
The next award is the NFL MVP. It is going to the LA Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. This is his first MVP. Was completely deserving. Had a great season. I think the Super Bowl, as weird as it sounds, kind of really solidified his MVP, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Because the Seahawks played the Rams 3 times. In 2 of the games, Matthew Stafford was perfect. Even in that other game, they were really good. He wasn't quite perfect, but he still had no turnovers, and he still looked good. So, best defense in football, and he looked good against them. So, I think that really...
Had Drake May won the MVP and then had that performance,
so bad.
Would have been rough.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. I'm going to say this quickly and shortly, because it's not about me or my team. If Matthew Stafford deserved it this year, which he did, 100%, then Lamar deserved it last year. So, I am glad that the MVP has gone back to who should win based off stats, based off what they do with and for their team, not the sympathy vote. Because if you look at the MVP voting this year, there were still several sympathy votes and voter cards that don't make any fucking sense.
I will say, but for the one guy that voted for Justin Herbert, he at least went out and
10 toes down, made a valid argument. Honestly, I respected it.
Because one, he actually went behind what he said.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't just a random
No.
voter. The dude
No. That was not my
made
issue.
his vote
That one
public.
completely understood, respected it, appreciated it, thought it was a valid point. Um, Matthew Stafford was the MVP this year.
Yes.
He played well on a great team, yes, but he was phenomenal all year, and he deserved this. So happy for him. Kind of another stamp in a Hall of Fame career, and we will see what he does next.
Yeah. And then the last award of the evening was the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Um, Now, the MVP is probably for the best player. The Walter Payton Man of the Year is the most important award. This
Yeah.
award tends to be last because it is widely considered the most important award. One player from every team gets nominated for it. This year's Walter Payton Man of the Year is Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner. So super happy for my guy Bobby. Um, Loved him as a player. He's a great person. Still doing great things in his community. So really happy for him to get to add that to his locker. So um,
Yeah.
it does go a long way to your MVP case. I would argue Walter Payton Man of the Years are actually more important than MVPs to winning or to going to the Hall of Fame at this point. Like if you actually look at it, it's kind of
I
interesting.
think they're very important. I think it's a very prestigious, very important award, and it's not something you can just achieve, and it's not something you can do on the football field. Walter Payton Man of the Year is what you do off the field and how you represent yourself and the sport and your community and how you support your community. And, that's one of the awards that it really is for guys just an honor to be nominated. And then to win it is an extremely high honor.
Yes.
So, congratulations to Bobby. He has done so much work throughout every community he's been in, on every team, every city, and he's always giving back. So for him to get recognized like this finally is great to see.
So congrats to Bobby Wagner. And then the last thing we'll talk about is at the NFL honors. They announced the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026. The players elected to the Hall of Fame are Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Roger Craig, and Adam Vinatieri. So 5 names going to the Hall of Fame. All incredible players. Does make me feel a little old and a little sad because I did grow up watching
Yeah,
a lot of these players.
you feel
So
old. God. Um,
I think this
yeah.
was like the first year that players I've genuinely like grew up watching have been elected to the Hall of Fame. So definitely getting there.
Um, Great class. Happy for them. Congratulations. As a Ravens fan, I know we are disappointed that both Yonda and Suggs kind of got the boot again. Their time is coming. They
Yeah.
are Hall of Famers. They're just some names. Their time comes first, and
Yes.
that's where we're at. But congratulations to them. Always great to see, and looking forward to the Hall of Fame game and seeing their inductions.
Yes. Should be awesome. So I think that is it for the breaking news. Um,
Woo!
that catches us up all the way up to today.
We
So
know it's a
that's
lot, y'all. It's hard when we miss 2 weeks, and we do apologize for that. We had some
yeah.
tech issues.
So all's well that ends well.
Awesome. Well, then let's move on to the only game that has happened in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and really the only game that ever really matters.
Yeah. I think the famous quote is "Nobody cares unless you win the final game of the season."
Yep.
Um, so, um, for the Super Bowl, it was between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, and the Seattle Seahawks are your Super Bowl 60 champions. Um, I'm still kind of, I don't know. I haven't really come to terms with it yet. It is awesome. I think the parade, though, definitely kind of solidified me realizing that the Seahawks are NFL champions. Um, it's pretty cool. For the game itself, the Seahawks won 29-13. This game at no point was close. Um, it was an utter domination. If you were to just look at the stats, you could kind of trick yourself into thinking the game was close, but it really wasn't. The first half ended 9-0 in favor of Seattle, and pretty much from that point on, you kind of knew the Seahawks were winning. The Patriots could not move the football. Drake May looked like a young quarterback. Um, it was kind of just a shit show. The second half is really where, again, you kind of saw more of the same in that third quarter, where the Seahawks were just dominating. Couple sacks. They sacked Drake May 6 times. That doesn't quite break the record for the most sacks in the Super Bowl, but still not great. But yeah, fourth quarter came around and the Patriots did actually make it look close, and Drake May did actually have a good fourth quarter, but it really didn't matter.
It wasn't enough. It was garbage time.
So, for like stats, Sam Darnold had 19 for 38, 202 yards, 1 touchdown, took 1 sack. Drake May, 27 for 43, 295, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, including a pick six and 6 sacks taken. So, overall, not a great quarterback game, but one quarterback didn't turn the ball over and played a game manager masterclass of a game. The other one did not. So that was kind of the difference in my opinion. You saw one team, they just kind of played mistake free for the whole game. It wasn't a ton of, you weren't making really big plays, but you were just kind of not allowing anything bad to happen. You were not turning the ball over, which is a stat on that I'll get to in a second. You were at least moving the ball in the run game. You occasionally made a pass when needed. And then, the no turnovers was huge. Beyond that, Kenneth Walker, 27 carries for 135 yards and 26 yards through the air, is your Super Bowl MVP. So congrats to Kenneth Walker. Did not want that at all. You could tell. Some of the funniest things on the planet. He is definitely not the one to put on the mic because you're just not going to get anything out of him. Very reserved. But yeah, kind of funny to watch that. Cooper Kupp becomes the first player to ever lead a team in receiving yards for 2 franchises in the Super Bowl. So that was pretty cool. Had a good game, 6 for 61. A.J. Bonner caught the only offensive touchdown for the Seahawks. He looked pretty good. JSN had a very quiet night. 4 catches for 27 yards. Wasn't really asked to do a whole much. Did have that concussion in the third quarter that bled into the fourth. So, not surprised, but definitely interesting that he had a pretty down game, and they still kind of blew out the Patriots. On defense, with 6 sacks, Devin Witherspoon had 1. Derek Hall had 2. 1 was a strip sack that was recovered by Byron Murphy, who also had 2 sacks. Riley Mills gets his first career sack in the Super Bowl on what was probably the coolest play of the day. Him just 100%. completely bullying the left guard into Drake May and then tackling them both was kind of awesome. But those are everyone that got a sack. As I said, there was the strip sack by Derek Hall. That was awesome. And then for interceptions, Julian Love got 1. and then Uchenna Nwosu got the other. That one was the pick six. I thought at the time it was a forced fumble by Spoon, but I guess his arm was moving forward with control. Didn't really matter. Same result. All they did was take a sack away from Witherspoon. So, pretty awesome. Myers was close to becoming the first kicker to ever win Super Bowl MVP. Went 5 for 5 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra points. Was really good. And then even Michael Dixon had a great game. Had 3 punts downed inside the 10. Was just pretty spectacular when he needed to be. So that was awesome. On the Patriots side, again, Drake May did not have a good game. Their run game was pretty much non-existent. 18 carries for 79 yards. Drake May led the team with 37. That's not really going to cut it. Matt Collins was the only wide receiver that really did anything. Had 4 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. I will say that touchdown throw to Matt Collins was beautiful from Drake May.
It was beautiful.
In a moment where I kind of thought he was going to start turning the ball over, he makes that great throw. The next drive, he does come out and turn the ball over. But that throw to Matt Collins definitely kind of scared me a little bit because it looked really calm, really precise, and kind of what we were seeing from Drake May earlier in the season. Their other touchdown was in garbage time to Ramondre Stevenson out of the backfield, so that's, what it is. And then defensively, the only person that I felt showed up on the New England defense in a good way, like really good way, was Christian Gonzalez. He was incredible. Had like 3 pass breakups, 2 of which saved to touchdowns. He was incredible. Like the Seattle could not throw his way. It was just, he was insane. If New England won the game, he was the MVP, bar none. Like he was great the whole day. But beyond that, nothing really else happened. Their kicker made his 1 extra point, and then they went for 2 and didn't get it. So, all in all, the Seahawks really did just kind of kick their ass. And yeah, I think that's kind of why it doesn't feel like they won, is because it was not that, like,
That's fair.
They just kind of walked in and dominated and walked out.
Both defenses showed up heavily, holding the Seahawks to multiple field goals in the first half, shutting the Patriots out in the first half. I said this multiple times leading up to it, and I said it multiple times watching that game. Look, congratulations to the Patriots and to Drake May. However, I do not think they were qualified to be there.
No.
They did not belong. The adversity that builds a Super Bowl winning team was absent from their season.
Yeah.
That's just a reality. They had an extremely easy schedule, and they had an extremely easy playoff run.
And all that's true.
Now, I'm not going to say that football isn't hard. It is. And everybody goes out there and they play their best. And I give respect to that. I'm not calling anybody soft
and they have
or weak
to play
or anything.
who's in front of them.
Yeah, and they can't play anybody else. But there was no adversity.
Yeah.
And for a young quarterback who had been bailed out by his defense, playoffs, had terrible playoff stats. In that moment, needed to be able to step up, and he couldn't do it. Now, I think there's a lot of talent and a lot of potential. And I think we saw a young, competent quarterback. But his flaws against that defense and against a more seasoned offense, a more seasoned quarterback, and a team that would not back down were on full display. So I think he will get his chance again. I think he they are still primed to compete in the AFC, but next year is going to be a lot harder. And we will see what they do from there. It was the Seahawks game all day. I was annoyed by the pregame as we were talking about what Darnold needed to do to silence the critics. Um, they should have been silenced when he got there. And if you hold any part of this game against him, you weren't watching it. JSN, Cup, missing wide open drops. At no point did he turn the ball over or put it in danger.
Some of the throws weren't great, but
no, and no quarterback's going to be perfect, but it was not just him. And the biggest criticism of Darnold has been his turnover problem, and he did not have that against this defense.
Yeah.
So
was
he earned, led, and quarterbacked a Super Bowl winning team.
Yes.
And he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah. So can't ever take that away from him.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about some of the things. If you didn't watch it, please do. It's really well done. The mic'd up for this game is out on the NFL's YouTube channel. Go check it out.
Yes.
It was really good. I think both of these teams knew what was going to happen. If you just watch it, Seattle in their mic'd up has all the energy, is kind of ready to go, and you could tell in the Patriot side they had Vrabel mic'd up, they had Milton Williams and Ramondre Stevenson. I'm pretty sure Mike Vrabel said, "Keep your head up," no less than 100 times. And that was off of the first drive from the Seahawks. They scored a field goal. And Vrabel was already having to get guys on the sideline and be like, "Keep your head up. Go out there." And I'm like, that tells me
it's
too
early. Too early.
Right there, you're fucked. They knew going into this game they were going to lose. And it's unfortunate, but
and that's a rough way to start.
For seriously your coach to have to come out on the first drive. All the Seahawks did was kick a field goal. You did a really good job stopping them in the red zone.
Yeah. And they did a good job the whole game in the red zone.
And you have to come off the field, and your coach is like, "Keep your head up." And then every time he was talking to Drake May, it was like the same things. Drake May did not look confident, at all.
No.
I even think in one of the mic'd up portions, Julian Love, the safety for the Seahawks, was talking to, I think, Kobe Bryant on the sideline, and was like, Drake is doing the rookie thing where he gets to his last step in his drop back, and then he waits a second, waits that beat to make sure his receiver's open, and then he throws it. He's not just blindly throwing it. And then I think the whole thing was he's not blindly throwing it like Stafford. And I think that's kind of also what you saw in this game. Is the Seahawks knew he's a young quarterback. He's going to take that extra beat to confirm what he's seeing rather than just
trusting it,
what he sees. So I think that was the other thing that really stood out to me. The whole mic'd up section just kind of felt like the Seahawks knew they were going to win and the Patriots knew they were going to lose. And it was a really interesting watch, again, to kind of see the Patriots be so demoralized in the first quarter when only giving up 3 points. It was such a weird state. I didn't get it. I get that you don't feel like you belonged, but damn, you're still there.
Yeah, still fight for the moment.
So that was definitely interesting to see. But the mic'd up really kind of shed light onto just how I feel like ready the Seahawks were and unready the Patriots were. It was kind of crazy.
And it looked that way.
Yeah.
It looked that way. So, this is what I expected. This is what I thought was going to happen. And congratulations to Seattle and to Sam Darnold.
And there's a couple more things. I'm going to take my victory lap.
Do it.
Yeah. Going to have some fun. So, first of all, I get it. Not calling this team an all-time great Super Bowl champion. I do. However, it's not necessarily accurate. The Seahawks, throughout the whole season, including the postseason, had a point differential of plus 246. They lost 3 games by a combined score of 9 points, with their biggest loss being by 4. So, I don't really know, and that is the best point differential by a Super Bowl champion this century. They were a great team. I don't think you should be saying that they weren't an all-time great team, because I think they were. Or at least they're a great team this century. And I don't think they've been getting the credit they deserved for this game. I've been seeing a lot of bullshit about how you pick anybody else out of the AFC, and it would be different. I don't think it would have been. I still think the Seahawks kick anybody out of the AFC's ass this season. Like, there's not a team in the AFC that I would have sat there and went, okay, this does, fear me. Buffalo would have been the only one.
I don't think you can make the argument that any other team would have been different when the other teams didn't make it.
Yeah.
When the other teams couldn't get past this Patriots team, you don't get to make that argument.
Maybe Bo Nix, the Broncos with Bo Nix, but even then, I still think it ends the same. No team in the AFC scared me. So I think that is disrespectful to the Seahawks to even dare mention that.
It's disrespectful and it's unnecessary.
They weren't there.
This is how the chips fell. This is they don't just randomly pick 2 teams in the NFL to play in the Super Bowl. There is a competition for it.
Yeah. And the Patriots somehow made it through. Again, I'm not saying the Patriots, but they made it. Nobody else did. So,
yeah.
Fuck off. The next one I want to talk about is Demarcus Lawrence. Prior to the season, said some things that got some people on Twitter fired up. If you recall, at the very beginning of the season, when he went on had an interview just after signing with the Seahawks. I want to say it was with, I don't even remember. It was one of the Seahawks beat reporters. And he said, I love Dallas is my home. I love Dallas, but I ain't winning a Super Bowl there. And everyone responded with, and you think you're going to win one with Seattle? I remember that from Micah Parsons. I think he won one with Seattle, guys. I think that happened.
Yep.
So that is an all-time call your shot moment from Demarcus Lawrence. That one was pretty fun to go back and look at again. Because, pretty much said the thing, and everyone freaked out that he wasn't going to win one with the Seahawks. Well, he did. So, fuck you. And then the next one. From the parade. The parade was awesome. A lot of funny moments. Ernest Jones put him on the mic, but make sure you have that button ready because he's going to say it. Was talking. Said a couple things. Went back to just defending Darnold, defending the team. But he was defending them because Puka Nacua can't shut his fucking mouth. And last time I checked, you're on your couch. So shut the fuck up and go play football and maybe win. Just a suggestion. Don't be coming at us saying that we're not a very good team when we beat you. Not once, but twice. So yeah, I think Ernest Jones' tweet summed it up. Shut your goofy ass up, as I think what he said. So we'll stick to that. And then yeah, if anybody doubts this team or wants to talk shit about this team, as Ernest Jones said, quite frankly, fuck you. Is I think all that needs to be said at this point. So
yeah,
that is it. I'm very glad this team does not stand for disrespect. They are very quiet otherwise, but the minute you disrespect somebody on the team or them, they get very unquiet very quickly. So,
yeah,
pretty cool to see.
There's a great camaraderie. There's a great sportsmanship. This team is a team, and they do a really great job. I don't know why some people are running their mouths. You're at home. Shut up. I think DeMarcus Lawrence's moment was perfect. I will say now, I didn't think it as strongly as Micah. I didn't think it was a Super Bowl this year, but for them to come out and play the way they did and have the season they had, and DeMarcus Lawrence had a great game.
I mean, to be fair, I said the same thing when DeMarcus Lawrence said it. I was like,
so
you said that would play for the Seahawks.
I'm not sure.
But to be fair, again, he called his shot.
You did it. You did it, and it was great. I think if you have negative things to say about this team and the way they played and how the season ended, you're bitter. And that's fine, but I don't have the energy for that. I don't.
Yeah. And
like,
again,
am I bummed that the Ravens weren't in the Super Bowl? Sure. Am I bummed that Mike McDonald took a different team to the Super Bowl? Sure. But you know what we are? We're just happy for the Seahawks. We're just happy for Mike McDonald and those players. We're not sitting here going, well, if the Ravens had been there, bitch, the Ravens got to get there.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear, maybe the Broncos could have beat them. Broncos weren't there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If Bo Nix was healthy, he wasn't. This is what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't there. Josh Allen, once again, got bounced in the divisional round and then got his coach fired. Like, shut up. Puka Nacua, Sam Darnold's not very good. Well, he beat your quarterback twice. So, I'm not sure. That's a valid statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shut up. You're stupid. You're bitter. And it doesn't make you seem intelligent, and it doesn't make you seem, like a good person. We just want you to shut up. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, couldn't have said it better. Just, if you wanted to talk, win.
Yeah. That's how you talk. Is you win the game. So, if you had beaten the Seahawks, then talk all the shit you want. You didn't.
Yeah. So, obviously, I'm riding an awesome high being Super Bowl champions, but
yeah, 100%.
Time to do it again next year.
Well, it was a great game. It was a great season. Perfect ending. Congratulations again to the Seahawks. And that does do it for our 2025-2026 NFL football season.
Yeah.
So now we're going to jump in to kind of some of the things happening to get us going. We do have a little bit of Ravens news that we're going to talk about. I know we have some Seahawks news with free agents.
We're going to wait on the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit of the Baltimore Ravens and just kind of some of the things that we have coming up for them, what their offseason's looking like, and then we're going to dive right into the Olympics.
Yeah.
So, Ravens football, as they're sitting at home on the couch. But busy at work, as they have a new head coach, obviously, which we've talked about, in Jesse Minter. He has finalized his coaching staff. I am not going to go through all of them. I don't think y'all want to listen to that. The thing we are going to talk about is 4 important, I think, positions, or kind of topic worthy. So, as Jesse Minter is a young, new head coach, he did hire his dad, Rick Minter, as a senior defensive football analyst. If you are a longtime Ravens fan, you know Rick Minter as the former head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals for about 10 years. He obviously did not have a ton of success. That's more of a Cincinnati problem than a Minter problem, I think, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
What I appreciate is it's someone in the building that has experience as a head coach, someone that Jesse is going to respect, is going to lean on when he needs help, when he needs advice, things like that. So that's really exciting. There are only 4 coaches from Harbaugh's staff that the Ravens retained. Anthony Levine, who gets a promotion to special teams coordinator. Randy Brown, Prentice Gill, and Tyler Santucci. So, happy to keep some familiar faces in the building. Happy to keep people that kind of know the culture, know the standard. Obviously, Jesse does as well, as he has been in Baltimore. So, happy to see some of that. As for Zach Orr, who I have mentioned, who I wanted them to kind of keep, or I was hoping they would keep, is actually going to Seattle. He's reuniting with Mike McDonald. He is going back to inside linebacker coach. I think he will get another shot at defensive coordinator.
He will.
I'm just not sure he was ready. So to see him go back is great. I know he got the same offer from Dallas, but he chose Mike McDonald. Completely understandable. No, not at all. So a lot of respect for that, and good luck to him, and good luck to our Ravens coaching staff. Only other piece of news I want to discuss is Lamar Jackson. A lot of questions this offseason on what's going on with him and what's the plan. Mike Garafolo of the Insiders, they did a segment on the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, reported that they are in contract extension talk, and the goal is to have it done by March 11th. If that day does not stand out to you, it is the beginning of free agency, which Steve Bisciotti did emphasize in his post-game press conference. He wants that contract done, so then they know what kind of money they're dealing with, as they have many free agents this season. If you are present on TikTok or Twitter, you know that Kyle Van Noy is one of them. So just a lot of names on that list. They want that contract done. While Lamar has been quiet, it's also reported and confirmed from Ravens, inside the Ravens building, that Lamar was an active participant in this coaching hire. He was on every video conference call, and he had an absolute hand in hiring his new offensive coordinator, Deacon Doyle. So, there were conversations and questions and rumors about him being traded. The way this team has been built and the way this team has been hired, it is not looking like that. They want a contract extension done, and they want it done quickly. So I would say in the next couple of weeks, hopefully we'll be talking about that. Maybe Brendan and I will put just kind of a post of the new Ravens staff either in the comments below of the video or on a little section of our screen. We have the full image of their entire staff. The thing I give credit to is that with all of the kind of bottom of the barrel stuff we're seeing, is they got their full staff in and ready to go with the combine and all of these things happening. Yeah. So hopefully the 2026 Baltimore Ravens are ready to go. Now, with all of that news done, we're going to move on to the 2026 Milano and Cortina Olympics,
Yeah.
which have been fantastic. They've been just so great. Just so great. We're going to start where they start, though. We're going to start with their opening ceremony. It was really beautiful. It was a really great time. It was very Italian. It was just so very Italian. A lot of, representation of art, music, theater, um, culinary experiences. It was all on full display, and it was a great time. I think it was much better than the last Olympics opening ceremony.
Yeah.
So it was really great. The thing I really liked is that they had the two obelisks, so one in Milano and one in Cortina, holding the Olympic flame. A lot of times we see one central arena and one central place for the flame, and because they have it across two cities, to have two obelisks, I thought was really great. This was also one of the first years that not just athletes walked. So for countries that just had one athlete, they had their trainers, their coaches with them. And I thought that was really beautiful to let them have that community as they went through the athletes parade and having people to share that moment with. They didn't just have to do it alone. So it was great. The main focal point for Milano was harmony and um, and so we saw a lot of that transcend this opening ceremony, and inclusion. And I thought they just did a really great job. It was really exciting to see, and so much fun. And if you take nothing else away from the Olympics, it's harmony and unity, and it's just coming together. Even though they compete against each other, it's about respect and just competing. It's just about sports, and for that to be represented in the opening ceremony the way it was, I thought was beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't really watch the opening ceremonies.
That's crazy.
They just happen on the wrong day for me to be able to watch. I did watch like a replay. Really, kind of only watched like the walkouts. Um, Thought it was really cool that they did get to have like the coaches. I think that was pretty cool for again a lot of the smaller countries that only are bringing one, two, to see kind of everybody get a chance to walk out, and even some of like the mid-sized countries. I thought they brought like a lot of energy with the coaches just because there was more people. It was kind of cool to see a lot of energy this year for opening ceremony. I thought it was also cool that it seemed that they split countries up between different parts, just with
Yeah.
like different walkouts. Thought that was a really interesting thing. I think it allowed for like every athlete to walk. I know some years it's tough to allow every athlete to actually participate in the opening event. So it was pretty cool how they did it this year for that.
If you watched it, Sean White was present, and he was present for the broadcast team, and he talks about how unfortunately so many athletes miss athlete parade because they're so spread out and they don't have that time, whereas Milano kind of made a point to schedule their ceremony and that athlete parade for when every athlete could be present. So that was really great. The one thing I did not like, and I'm going to touch on this briefly, was the broadcasters for the opening ceremony. If you watched it on NBC, then you know that the broadcasters felt the need to point out every wrongdoing or confrontation that different countries had with each other and with the US, and some of the worst moments in their history, and that was unnecessary, and nobody asked. Like, we can read a history book and we know these things have happened, but that's not what this moment was about. And it was disrespectful to the athletes to bring these things up when so many of them had nothing to do with the athletes and nothing to do with this moment. So that was the one criticism I had, but that is not on the fault of Cortina or the opening ceremony. It was simply on the broadcasters, and I just didn't think it was necessary or appropriate.
Fair.
So I don't think mentioning Israel in the 72 Olympics as they do their athlete walkout is necessary.
Probably not.
And nobody was thinking that, by the way. He was like, everyone's thinking it. No one was thinking it. Absolutely no one. It's just you. So why we said it, I have no idea.
I don't really have anything to add.
That's fair. So let's get into some major storylines for the Olympics. Some things we're watching, some things that have already happened, and kind of go from there. Lindsey Vonn at 40 was returning for another podium. Quest came to a horrifying end.
Yeah. This one was rough.
If you watched it, like Brendan and I did, sitting on the couch together.
Yep. Live. Not even on replay.
In the moment. Yeah. 13 seconds into her downhill run, her skis get out in front of her. She falls, and then quickly the screaming begins. She did unfortunately break her leg.
It is worth noting that prior to the Olympics starting, like a week prior, in the last things prior to the Olympics, she tore her ACL in a crash. Now, she got surgery on that, had it repaired prior to the Olympics. Still not recommended that you ski on a repaired ACL a week after. But this is also the Olympics, and this is probably the last time she's going to compete in the Olympics. So I completely understand.
Yep.
I just do think that context is necessary, that she was skiing on a torn ACL to start with, and then probably retore it.
Placed third in the qualifiers. It was having a great run, and then unfortunately did come to this end. So heart goes out to her.
It was rough.
She's a great athlete, and I think no one perpetuates drive more than she does. To go through what her body has been through and to keep fighting is impressive.
And she'll go down as one of the best downhill skiers of all time. It is just an unfortunate end to her career because there's no coming back from this one.
No, it's rough. It was rough. Next, Chloe Kim in halfpipe snowboarding was chasing the first ever three-peat gold medal. Did get silver. It was a great run. Unfortunately, she fell 2 out of her 3 runs, so her first one counted, giving her the silver medal. Still great. Still a great career, great athlete. She's a lot of fun to watch, and happy for her and for the U.S. to have even medaled. So that's great. Corey Thesey, I'm hoping, is the first woman in the U.S. to medal in curling, in any curling event.
Yeah.
Her and her partner, Corey Dropkin, takes silver in mixed doubles curling.
I thought they had it.
It was a lot of fun to watch. I love curling.
I thought they had it.
They did have it. They had it. It was a lot of fun to watch. I greatly enjoy curling. I just kind of binged the shit out of it. Like 2 weeks every 4 years. So it was great to see. She is the first woman at all. This is the first time the U.S. have medaled in mixed doubles, and they have never medaled in women's. And I've watched it so far, and I think that will hold true. That's not really
Okay.
the point of this, but I do think that the medal for women in curling for the U.S. stops here. So
They
congratulations
got
to
it.
her
But
and doubles partner Corey Dropkin.
nice.
Final kind of major storyline going in. Um, Ilian Malini, the figure skater for the U.S. He did help the U.S. win gold in team figure skating.
Yeah, this
He
dude.
did, however, have an unfortunate situation in the short program, which we're going to get into. But before that, he is a phenomenal figure skater. And to do that backflip on ice is
Yeah,
wild. the way I would die. I first off wouldn't make it off the ice, but then that's it. That's
there's no,
just
there's,
just call 911.
yeah,
um
I,
it's extremely rare. He's one of the first to ever do it, and it is phenomenal to
yeah,
see. Even if you
it's,
don't, if you think you don't like figure skating, one, you
which,
don't watch the
okay,
Olympics.
one, I don't like figure skating. Two, what he does is fucking sick, and almost makes figure skating worth watching.
Yeah, like just watch this.
It, like,
He did
it's,
unfortunately in the short program fall twice, therefore placing 8th.
damn.
But that's going to lead us to some of our other news. Um, Kazakhstan, I don't think I pronounced that right.
You did, I
So I
think.
do apologize. Secured its first medal, and its first gold medal of the 2026 Olympics by getting gold in the men's figure skating, as their skater was able to take first over Ilian Milani. So great for him. South Korea, snowboarding halfpipe 17-year-old Gaeon Chow won gold in her Olympic debut, marking South Korea's first ever medal in the halfpipe event. She took gold over
Chloe Kim.
Chloe Kim. Um, and she credits Chloe Kim for being a mentor to her. So congratulations to her and to them.
Just crazy to say, because Chloe Kim's only like 25 years old.
Yeah. Um, Italy women's doubles luge, which is a first time event for this Olympics.
I
Won
have a
the inaugural.
question. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
the answer. Is
I will go
double
ahead.
luge entirely new, or is it just the women's side?
It's just women's.
Okay,
Is new.
never seen a
Um,
double luge, and it's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen.
yeah. um, so the Italian women's team won the first ever medal and the first gold medal for this event. So congratulations to Andre Voiter and Marion. I'm not a disrespectful person, so I'm just gonna not. Um,
Yeah, I'm not gonna try.
and then Great Britain, Matt Weston won gold, marking Great Britain's first medal of the 2026 Games and the first individual winter gold for a British man in 46 years.
Damn.
So, congratulations to the so far the
And
first historic medals of Milano
I
and
watched this.
Cortina.
I watched this dude skeleton run. He kicked
It was
everybody's ass.
phenomenal.
Kicked
It
everybody's
was.
ass.
I was watching it because I watched the replay today. Because I watch. Sometimes it's hard to catch live events, and if you watch hockey, which we're going to talk about in a second, there's just a lot of stoppage. So if you just kind of watch the replays, you can get through. You can take an hour and a half event and watch them in like 45 minutes. It's great. But it was a fantastic run.
Yeah,
He ran it. Nobody even came close.
He won by like 1 second, which for skeleton is a fucking eternity.
For speed-based sports, 1 second is an eternity.
Like normally these are decided by tenths of a second.
Yeah.
For it to be decided, I want to say it was 0.88. Like, still, you absolutely demolished it was pretty cool to see.
It was fantastic to see. We're watching history, watching some of these niche sports that we don't get to see a lot, and we're seeing countries that don't get to win them a lot win, and that's fantastic. And that's really what this is about. So it's been great. If you like hockey, that is finally getting going for the men's side. It's going really well. I know there have been some questions about why Canada is not staying in the Olympic Village. The answer to that question can be found on last year's Four Nations. Because of the scuffle that they very quickly got into, Canada decided to stay at a hotel rather than in the village, because in the village they were set to be right next to the U.S. team, and the decision was made for everybody's safety.
Yeah, that seems like a poor life choice.
And respect, they were just going to stay in a hotel.
Poor life choice.
So that's kind of what that is. For women's hockey, it's going well. I believe the U.S. team is currently undefeated. They did kind of smack the crap out of Canada.
And they are undefeated. They have won 6 games, I think, to this point, and have scored 26 goals and have allowed 1. So, kind of gives you an idea of how good the U.S. has been.
How that's going.
They've won 5 games, but still, 26 goals and 1 against in 5 games. Pretty damn
It's been
good.
phenomenal. Men's hockey finally kicked off yesterday or the day before, I believe.
Yes.
With their group event beginning. We'll see how that goes. Kind of think Canada will win.
Yeah.
They did have
looks fucking.
But that's okay. They can have the Olympics. They can't win a cup to save their lives. So, it's like maybe we let them have this one. But we'll see how the competition goes. Canada and the U.S. have yet to face each other in men's hockey, and we eagerly await that moment.
And I want to put an important note out there, because the Olympics did change something. So in hockey, normally a fight is only a 5-minute penalty, and then you're allowed back in the game. The Olympic Committee has changed that. If there is a fight, it is now a 5-minute penalty and a game misconduct, and you are thrown out of the game. So
this was done because they really do not want the U.S. and Canada to just go to blows on the ice.
Now,
because that is the concern.
I don't think that's going to stop them,
no.
But it is going to discourage them heavily. So you might not see the Kachuk brothers fight because they are very important to the U.S. You might see some random
somebody else
bout. But do want to emphasize that
important thing to note.
If you fight, you are done for the game.
And then kind of the final thing, Canada did play Sweden today. I apologize, I did not catch the player's name. A very unfortunate injury for Team Sweden today. Looks like a broken leg.
Which side?
So that will probably Sweden.
No, which, like men's or women's?
Oh, men's.
I did not see it, so I don't know either. We will find that for next week.
We will find it. We will get confirmation on that. Maybe we'll just cut this section and we'll do that then. But it's just been a great Olympics so far. Curling. Hockey's been great. Obviously, luge and skeleton have been great. All of women's snowboarding events have wrapped up in terms of cross, half pipe, and big air. I believe men's cross is still to go. I think that's tomorrow.
So,
the biathlon. Those people are insane. And who chooses that? But those people, they just get to the finish line and just fall. They're just like, we're done. We're done. We don't have any more in us.
I wouldn't do it, but that's just a me thing.
No. But it's a great time. It's a great thing to enjoy and to really engross yourself in these different sports, these different cultures, for a couple of weeks. I've been enjoying the shit out of them. I know there's some controversy about the French team. for figure skating. I'm not going to comment on that until I have more information.
Okay.
So, and Brendan doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
No,
So there's really no point to bring it up.
You're right. I have no idea whatsoever.
So, but for now, we're just kind of enjoying the Olympics.
Yeah, so far, so
and,
good.
And everything they have to offer. I am just going to quickly, in first and second place, Norway and Italy with 18 total medals, and the U.S. sits in third at 14 total medals.
Nice.
As of right now. So about a week in, and it's looking good.
And pretty much what we expected at the top. Norway normally kind of dominates the Winter Olympics in terms of medals. So,
and the hosting country
cool to see Italy.
Always does well. I don't think it's a rigged thing. They just tend to do well. They're acclimated to climate, time zone, all of those things. Tends to do well. And then the U.S. also tends to do well. So this is about what we expected at the top.
Yeah.
And we will see how the next week and a half of competition goes.
Yeah, should be cool. I'm really looking forward to bobsled. That's kind of my...
Yep. We're rooting for Team Jamaica.
Always. That is like a rule.
And looking forward to another new event, Skizmo.
What?
I will know more what that is after I see it. Googling it didn't help. So.
What? How do you even...
It's a new Olympic event.
What? I am so confused.
Exactly.
Huh?
So, like Brendan said...
this thing? Okay. Sure. This could...
I'll know more after I watch it.
Alright.
Right now, I just have questions.
Sure, man.
We will discuss that more as well.
Okay. Could be fun. Could be a thing. Alright. Never heard of that. Never.
I had neither.
Well, hopefully it ends up better than breakdancing did.
Oh my god.
For the summer.
I can't.
Or else we're never adding more sports to the Olympics.
We're done. Or you're going to have to start sending in a video to qualify. Because I promise you, if anyone in the Olympic committee had watched her breakdance, they'd have been like, no. No. So yeah, a lot of great things still to come. Obviously, men's and women's 4-person curling teams are still going on. The hockey is still going on. Plenty of events still in full swing, and some that haven't even started. Some that I don't understand. So we're going to see what happens.
We're going to get there.
But it's been a great time.
Yeah.
Enjoying the shit out of it. And this is the time, right? This is the time for all the random sports with football.
Kind of wish the Olympics waited a week, you know?
That's fair.
Did it started like this weekend, but
had not overlapped with the Super Bowl a little bit. Agreed.
But
it was hard to watch both. Luckily, kind of the Olympic day had ended when the Super Bowl game started.
Yes. Was the kind of nice thing. But yeah, we're there. I'm going to get caught up on the Olympics.
The great thing about... One of the best things about modern technology is I remember growing up and, you know, at the end of the day, you'd get like a 30-minute to an hour recap on every event. And now with the internet and streaming the way it is, you can watch every event. And
at any point you want.
It's been great. Yeah. You can watch all the qualifiers, all of, you know, the finals, round robins, all of it for for any team, not just the U.S. And it's a great thing. It's a great thing to be able to see.
Yeah, so should be awesome to continue. So looking forward to it.
Great. Well, do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The
I
Olympics
do
have
believe that
been
does it for me as well.
kind of on the back burner. Awesome. Well, if that does it for us, then make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know if there's any event you want us to kind of focus on with the Olympics. We do try to talk about them all, but if there's one specific one you guys want to hear about, we'd be happy to kind of dive deeper into them. Should be really cool. So let us know in the comments. If there's anything else you want to see now that football's done, let us know. Be happy to kind of shift some stuff in. With all that being said, this has been Flocknet Sports Podcast. Thank y'all for joining. Bye.